Good morning. It's the Call Flo Radio Show, and you're on the air.
Well, good morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It is April 30th, the last day in the month of April. I am Chris Wood, and we've got a couple of special guests in our Francis E. Wood studio here in Farmville. So we'll ask you to hold off on your calls for a little bit. And we want to welcome to our studio here, I've got Jake Romaine and also Emily Gant, and they are from the Farmville Downtown Partnership, and we bid you a good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
Hi. It's nice to have such good-looking faces here in the studio, and some exciting news that I'm sure everybody is interested in hearing about, and that is Farmville Fridays.
Yeah.
Jake, first let's hear from you. Let's get a little bit of your background, okay?
My background, I am the president of the Farmville Downtown Partnership. I also am the owner of the North Street Press Club, partners with Matt Nash and Carlos. I also own a building on Main Street and a couple rental properties as well, so do a lot of different things around the community. Really excited for this event. This really supports our mission that we have downtown, so be very excited.
Bringing the community together. Now, how long have you lived in Farmville?
15 years.
15 years.
Yes.
Oh, all right. And he's got a smile on his face. Seems to like this area.
Oh, yeah.
And Emily, tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I am the executive director of the Farmville Downtown Partnership, going on about a year now. Born and raised in Farmville, so been here all 32 years of my life, and loving it. Yeah.
Loving it, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, tell us a lot about how you have taken over what was formerly First Fridays, which, we here at WFLO are very familiar with, since, we were kind of the MCs and hosts of the event. And so tell us how you're going to make it better.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the big things that we noticed from before is that we kind of got the event out of that bottom, up into the parking lot, have the stage right there. So we don't really have to worry as much about the weather. Of course, we don't want it to rain the day of, but in the past you had to be careful about the rain the day before, 2 days before. So now we have a little bit better window, I think, on that. We also have invited a lot of the downtown retailers, so we'll have pop-up shops all throughout the event as well, food trucks. Of course, we have Three Roads down there with the beer truck, which is very exciting as well. And, of course, the live entertainment like usual.
Oh, that's wonderful. Is the admission still free?
Yes, of course. Still free admission. Not free beer, though. Just free admission.
All right. Well, we're talking about Farmville Fridays. Now, is this going to be like on the first Friday, or is it going to be scattered, intermittently, or?
So that was part of the name adjustment, is that historically First Fridays always ended up on a second Friday. It always just inevitably happened. So Farmville Fridays, sometimes it's going to be on the second Friday. In July, it's on the second Friday, and September as well. So we're trying to dodge other big events. Of course, the town does fireworks after dark downtown. So that's kind of really close in July. So we wanted to push that to the second Friday in July, and then September we have Heart of Virginia Festival.
That's right.
So we want to make sure we're at the weekend after that as well. So a lot of different stuff going on there.
Well, now I had a question in my head, but it just went right out. But anyway, okay. So, all right. So I know what I was gonna ask you. When do you guys start?
This Friday.
This Friday.
This Friday.
Wow.
It got here real quick.
Day after tomorrow.
Certainly did. And what's the entertainment? Who we got coming?
So we have a band called Local Call, and they classify themselves as a dad rock band, which is super exciting.
A dead rock band?
Dad rock band. Dad rock band. Yes.
Okay. All right. And where are they from?
They're from Lynchburg, I believe. Yep.
That's right.
From Lynchburg. Okay, that's great.
6 dads. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, children. What about pets?
course, pet friendly. Most
Pet
definitely.
friendly, okay. And you're going to have something like, well, I don't really think that you'll have like the bounce house and stuff like that for the children. but
We
what?
will now. Okay, so
Oh, okay.
this was something I was determined to have because, again, being born and raised here and going to these events as a kid, it was like our favorite thing to do. And so I really want to make sure that the kids in the area also have the same experience. And so we're now going to have a massive blow-up shark slide.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that sounds great. How are you going to pack all that stuff into that parking lot?
So the shark slide is actually going to be in the grassy area. That'll be the only thing down there. And we're going to make it work.
Okay.
I'm determined.
So the guys will be facing, on the stage will be facing toward the buildings, right?
That's right, yes.
Yeah, that's great. Well, how many people do you expect? I know we had, what about the weather too? You know,
Weather's looking good right now. We're keeping a close eye on it. Right
yeah,
now,
we'll
it looks
keep our
good. Looks like
fing-
we're going to miss the rain.
Yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed for that. But anyway, how do you predict a crowd like that? Do you go on the back numbers or?
Absolutely. Historical data is generally the best way to make a good educated guess there. So we're guessing 200, 300 people is kind of where we hope to be at, and we think that that's probably pretty reasonable.
And what time do we start? 5 o'clock, 5:30, 5 o'clock?
5 to 8.
5 to 8 o'clock. And what time does the band start up? Probably about 6?
Band will start right at 5 o'clock.
Right at 5
Yeah,
o'clock?
they're going to kick off the event with us.
Okay, all right. Now you're going to leave us some information so we can push this, right?
Of course, most definitely.
Okay, all right. Well, it sounds great. It really does.
Thank you.
I know that, were you going to have any giveaways or anything like that? Or just,
So we'll do a 50-50 raffle, and then we are also working on a spring raffle basket with lots of goodies from all of the downtown retailers. It's valued at over $800 at the moment.
oh my gosh.
Yep. And so on our Facebook, we've got a link where you can enter and buy a ticket beforehand. We'll also have the ability for you to buy a ticket when you get there. And we'll draw around 6:30 p.m. You don't have to be present to win, although we'd love for you to be. And so, yeah, that's those are a couple things that we're going to be doing as well.
Oh, that just sounds great. You're going to have that basket every time?
We hadn't planned on it, but if it does well, I'm willing to make that happen.
Yeah, well, if anybody can make things happen, I know it's you and Jake. So we appreciate you coming in and telling us about what's going on. That's exciting news. I know there are going to be a lot of people there that can reminisce about First Fridays, as I can. And it just sounds like it's going to be a big event, a big
be
community event, something for everybody.
We also like to give a shout out to our sponsors. Of course,
please
we got,
do, yeah.
Three Roads Brewery, Greenfront, Benchmark. Who are we missing?
Davenport, yep, Davenport and Company, Century 21 Realty at Home, and then WFLO and WVHO.
All right, sounds fantastic. We're glad to be a part of it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'll let you two get back to work.
Thank
I
you.
know you've got going to be busy with all of that, plus whatever else you're doing. And so we look forward to seeing you on Friday.
Awesome. Thank
We're
you.
excited.
At Farmville Fridays. That's great. Okay. Take care.
Have a good
Thank
one.
you.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. That was Jake Romaine and Emily Gant, again with the Farmville Downtown Partnership, bringing us some good news that Farmville Fridays is back, and that it's going to be down at in the parking lot there at the Riverside Park. So that will be great, and you don't have to worry about getting your feet wet or any chiggers or anything like that. Anyway, that's fantastic, and those two are pretty dynamic and very much into the Farmville community. It's nice to have fresh blood around and energy as well. It's 17 minutes after 8 o'clock. You're listening to the Call Flo radio show on this Wednesday, your April 30th. It is, as I mentioned, the last day in the month of April. So we'll get into May. I can't believe it. Time is on the march. All right, while we're waiting for Noah to make himself present here, we'll get into our history lesson for today. George Washington was inaugurated. That's our featured event in 1789. George Washington, the first president of the United States, was inaugurated this day in 1789 in Federal Hall in New York City, addressing his constituency on the proceedings of a new and free government. More events. 2013, William Alexander became King of the Netherlands after his mother, Queen Beatrix, abdicated. She had ascended the throne 33 years earlier. In 1989, Italian director Sergio Leone, who popularized the spaghetti western with his hugely successful Dollar trilogy, which included the masterpiece The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, died at the age of just 60 years of age. And of course, we all know Clint Eastwood was the star in those trilogies, or that trilogy. 1975, South Vietnamese capital of Saigon, which was Ho Chi Minh City, fell to North Vietnamese troops during the Vietnam War. In 1945, German dictator Adolf Hitler and his wife, Eva Braun, committed suicide in a bunker in Berlin, and that, again, was in 1945. But do we really know that? There's been some controversy on that. 1939, the National Broadcasting Company, which is NBC, made the first public television broadcast in the United States at the New York World's Fair. That was in 1939. 1933, American country singer and songwriter Willie Nelson was born, so it's his birthday today. 1926, aviator Bessie Coleman, the first American woman to obtain an international pilot's license from the Federation Aeronautic International, died after her plane crashed during rehearsal for an aerial show. 1900, U.S. President William McKinley signed the Hawaiian Organic Act, which made Hawaii a territory of the United States. In 1900, also, American railroad engineer Casey Jones, later made famous in song, died in a train wreck. How weird was that? And in 1897, English physicist J.J. Thomson, looks a little like Einstein here in this picture, but anyway, he announced that he had discovered the electron, which helped revolutionize the knowledge of atomic structure. He was later awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics. And that's going to do it for our history lesson for today. So we have 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, and let's see. Lines are open at 434-394-0924. Let's check out maybe some entertainment news for you. Let's see here what we've got. Okay. Oh, we've got Barbra Streisand. She just had a birthday last week, and she announces new duets album with Paul McCartney, Bob Dylan, Mariah Carey, and more. She's still a working lady. Let's see what's going on with her. She's still a woman in love, and she'll do anything to get you into her world. So that includes a new collection of duets with some of the biggest names in music. Streisand is preparing to release a new album, The Secret of Life, Partners Volume 2, out in June. Across 11 tracks, she's joined by heavy hitters Paul McCartney, Bob Dylan, James Taylor, Sting, Seal, Tim McGraw, Mariah Carey, Ariana Grande, and more. Got to have this one. First up is an emotive cover of First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, with Hosier. Then the song was originally written by English folk artist Ewan MacColl for his wife, Peggy Seeger. But it's the late Roberta Flack's cover that stands out. And not only because it was used in a love scene between Clint Eastwood and Donna Mills in his 1971 film Play Misty for Me, Streisand and Hosier gave their own spin on that. The Secret Life Partners Volume 2 comprises covers and original tracks. It will be released on June the 25th, and I'm going to mark my calendar for that because it's going to be great, I know. Let's see what else is going on in the world of entertainment. Let's see here. Willie Nelson, we just mentioned his birthday today. It's fun to hear Willie Nelson sing such words as ninja, fishmonger, and absinthe, which are among the many pleasures found in the songbook of influential country's songwriter Rodney Crowell. Now, Oh, What a Beautiful World is Nelson's latest album devoted to the songs of a specific songwriter. And in Crowell, he's interpreting, a kindred spirit, while Crowell has a slightly different lyric vocabulary. Both are Texans with a deep love of Hank Williams. So the pairing, great songs and a great singer, works beautifully. That album will be out on Friday, just before Nelson's 92nd birthday. Can you believe that? That's his birthday's on April. Well, it was yesterday. He has long sounded ageless, but more than ever, Nelson sings like a sage. His reedy tenor can be a little whispery, but he displays surprising vocal range. His relaxed, controversial delivery is filled with warmth and wisdom. He'll start a phase late, end it early, and make it seem absolutely perfect. So, good for Willie Nelson. He's surprisingly, very surprisingly, a talented artist. Let's go with, let's see, what category do I want? Science. All right, we'll find out what's going on in the world of science. Okay. Amazon, you know Amazon, of course, has its first batch of internet satellites. It rocketed into orbit on Monday, the latest entry in the mega constellation market currently dominated by SpaceX's thousands of Starlinks. We don't know what's up there, folks, but we do know it's getting pretty crowded, right, with all these satellites and everything orbiting the Earth. Anyway, the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket carried up 27 of Amazon's Project satellites, named after the frigid fringes of our solar system beyond Neptune. Once released in orbit, the satellites will eventually reach an altitude of nearly 400 miles. 2 test satellites were launched in 2023, also by an Atlas V. Project officials said major upgrades were made to the newest version. The latest satellites also are coated with a mirror film designated to scatter reflected sunlight in an attempt to accommodate astronomers. So that's nice. Well, Noah has entered the studio. Good morning.
Good morning, Chris. How you doing? How's it going?
It's going all right.
Good to hear.
Yeah,
Good to hear.
Yeah, nice. It was good to talk with Jake and Emily
from the Farmville Downtown Partnership. They're
yeah,
classic duo, and they really
they're the dynamic duo.
Duo. Yeah. Are you gonna be at Farmville Fridays, Chris?
I probably will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come down there.
Should be a fun time.
Yeah, I'll go down there. It'll bring back a lot of memories.
Definitely.
Yeah, Francis and I used to have the best time. We met so
Absolutely.
many people and listened to so many wonderful
Stories and-
stories and wonderful bands, and
Yeah.
had some great food and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
that was one of our favorite things to do.
Yeah, I think I had a brother who lost his car keys at a Farmville festival, Farmville Friday.
Oh, really?
A long time ago. Uh-huh. It was something at the Riverside Park, but I remember he lost his car keys, and it was a big problem for him. That was many years ago, by the way.
Did he ever find them?
No, I don't think so. I think he had a
wow.
spare. I think he had like a
Oh,
spare
yeah,
key.
spare key. Yeah. of
House
course.
key was gone. Mm-hmm.
Well, I had a kind of it wasn't exciting, but anyway, I went to Southern Brumfield's funeral yesterday, and I had went over to after the service and all. They had a reception, and it was like old home week. I mean, I saw some people I hadn't seen in years and years and years. It was so nice to see everybody. But when I left to get to my car, I'm going, where are my keys? Where's my purse? And I thought I'd left my purse in the sanctuary because I put it down on the floor, and knowing me, I could just walk out. But so I had everybody in a hustle trying to get, because the church was locked, of course, by the time I was getting ready to leave.
Isn't that the worst? I remember so many
It's the
times.
worst feeling. Oh, it's terrible.
Like somebody leaving something at a church and they lock the doors. I thought a church is supposed to be open 24/7.
Well, and they have special codes on the
Oh
doors,
yeah, the
you know.
QR code to connect or
Right,
like
yeah,
contact
to get,
people.
like what we've got.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And so then I got to thinking,
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't remember. I was so excited to see everybody. But anyway, so I went back in the reception after I'd taken 2 trips back and
Sure.
forth to the church. And it was there where I left it, on the floor at a table where I was sitting. And so everything was fine.
I thought this was going to be a story about you breaking into a church, Chris.
No, but if I had, no.
You set it up so
they were so
perfectly,
nice to let me
yeah.
back in
Oh,
and,
okay.
and look for it. But then I remembered finally what I'd done, and I felt like a fool.
Yeah.
But it's
That
it's not
happens.
like leaving your purse in the shopping cart and in the parking lot of Walmart. I did
That's
that one time.
oof, that's a bad one.
I did that. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
But fortunately, some honest people picked it up and took it into Walmart.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then there's the story about Katie, but I won't get into that.
Oh, you should totally get into it.
No, I won't get into that.
Okay.
That's.
Did Katie make an oopsie as like that as well?
Oh yeah, she did.
Big
She
one?
made an oopsie.
Did
but
she like
She
leave her?
drove my car. I went to the cleaners.
Yeah.
Left my car running, of course. She was in the back seat with her seatbelt on, but she wanted to drive my car.
How old
so-
was she?
4.
It's amazing. Kids these days.
I
Chris.
know. She ended up out on Route 15 on South Main
Oh
Street.
no! Wow,
Sort of ran into a truck.
that's incredible.
It is incredible.
That's an
If it had
incredible
been this
story.
day, if this
Yeah.
this day, I would have been in jail.
Yeah.
For child neglect.
That
and all
was
but-
that was back in the day. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Well,
But I don't think it's neglect. I think a child who is.
I was just in there for a second.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. No, I mean, that kid was determined.
She was.
to do that.
Yeah.
Whether it's
always.
like
She's always been that way.
Can't stop.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So, wow, that is incredible.
I blame it on her father
Yeah.
because he used to let her sit in his lap
Oh,
and steer
yeah,
the.
yeah.
dr- You know,
So she
steer
thought
the
she
car.
was like, I've done this 1,000 times.
Oh yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
just put it in reverse and get on the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there
Wow.
you go.
Very, very. That's a very. I think you. I don't know if you told me that story or not.
No, I haven't. I don't
Talk about it a lot?
talk about
Wow.
that very much. No,
Okay.
no, I'm not proud of that moment.
I mean, that's kind of funny. That's a. That's a. Funny
Yeah,
story.
well, it could have turned out a lot
It could have been
worse.
very bad, but
Yeah.
luckily, Katie is a safe driver. I guess.
Oh yeah, she got out of the
Very
parking lot.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, I wanted to cheer up your day a little bit and let you know that it is National Mr. Potato Day. Did you know that?
No.
It's the day. It's a national day where they celebrate Mr. Potato, the character from the 1997 film, 1994 Toy Story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like the Mr. Potato
Yeah.
and that toy in general. So yeah.
So I hope we get a call from Mr. Potato.
You know what? I think that is well deserved. Yeah, it says this day. I don't know who started this day, but it is Wednesday, April 30th. Is the national day where they celebrate the Mr. Potato Head guy.
All right. Well, coming up, we've talked ourselves to the bottom of the hour.
Yes,
a
we
little bit
did.
More, but we do have our recipe
of the week.
And it's a delicious one. It's a sweet one, so I'll let everybody anticipate what I'm talking about. Anyway,
Right.
We've got our weather coming up, and that is brought to you by the Bank of Charlotte County.
Hello, I'm Stuart Wilborn, manager of the Bank of Charlotte County Loan Office in downtown Farmville. With over 30 years of banking experience, I'm here to help you finance your commercial, agricultural, or personal project. Give us a call at 391-1136 or stop by our downtown office at 216 North Main Street, where you'll find old school personal assistance with attention to detail. The Bank of Charlotte County, giving you more for your banking needs. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
All right, let's get to our weather forecast. It calls for some sunshine today, mostly sunny. We do have a 30% chance of a thunderstorm. Look for a high of 88 degrees. I might have to turn on my AC a little bit. For tonight, we'll see a low of 62 degrees. Still goes from a 30% to a 20% chance of some showers and thunderstorms. On Thursday, we'll see partly sunny skies with another 30% chance of thunderstorms. We're into this summer-like pattern now with those showers and thunderstorms. On Thursday, look for a high of 86 degrees. Thursday night, we'll see a low of 66 with that chance of showers and thunderstorms. Friday, partly sunny. Then a chance of some thunderstorms again at 30% with a high of 86 degrees. On Friday night, look for a low of 62 with a chance of thunderstorms at 30%. On Saturday, we've got 70% chance of showers with a high of 77 degrees. And for Saturday night, a 50% chance of some thunderstorms with a low 52. On Sunday, 40% chance of showers with a high of 72 degrees. So we have the chance of some showers about every day starting today. Let's check our stats here. Humidity is at 69 degrees. Our barometric pressure at 30.05 inches. It's rising a little bit. We have winds coming in west-southwest around 7 miles per hour. And let me tell you, temperature's getting a move on here. We had a low of 65. We're now at 72 degrees. And we do have some sunshine, a hint of some sunshine out there as well. So that's your weather forecast brought to you by the Bank of Charlotte County with branch locations in Phoenix, Charlotte Courthouse, Brookneal, and their loan office in downtown Farmville. All right. Noah, we've got our birthdays coming up. And I think John said yesterday we have a lot of birthdays today.
Yes, we do.
All right. So the birthday calendar brought to you by Terry Atkins Wilson, PC.
The law office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, is located at 117 North Main Street in downtown Farmville. With deep roots in Farmville and our surrounding communities, Terry and her legal staff specialize in real estate law, wills and trusts, and business formations. Experience and professionalism are extended to every customer in every case. The needs and concerns of every customer are their primary focus. If you have legal needs, contact the law office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, for a consultation at 434-392-1422.
All right, Noah, it's your turn to shine. Who's celebrating today?
Well, Chris, thank you for that. Starting off the list, we have a big list, by the way. John was 100% correct. Starting off, we have for Thursday,
No,
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
You're right.
Yeah.
I can't believe I said Thursday. That's what a
No.
mistake.
That's not.
No,
a
that's
mistake.
bad, Chris. That's bad.
No.
Okay, starting off Wednesday, April 30th, we have David Redford celebrating a birthday. Also, Caleb Neathery, Brian Sims, Lori Newton. We also have Buck and Whitney celebrating a anniversary, and that is Buck and Whitney Jenkins. Hunter and Jordan Morris celebrating an anniversary. So we wish them a happy anniversary. And also having a birthday today, we have Greg Langhorn. What a name. Just a perfect name. And also Deborah Smith celebrating as well. That's all we got, Chris.
That's a lot.
Big list. A lot of two anniversaries and a bunch of birthdays. That's how I like it.
That's the way we like it. Yes.
Yes.
How do they get those names to us?
Couple of ways they can go. Call in 434-394-0924. Call that number and submit birthdays directly from the phone line. Also, you can email us at birthdays@wflo.net, and also you can go on our website. Directly on our website, we have a page dedicated for birthdays. You can just submit birthdays directly from our website. So a couple of different ways of getting those birthdays to us.
All right. For the right legal advice, visit Terry Atkins Wilson PC on Main Street in downtown Farmville. All right, our time is 8:39. We have open lines, but I've got a recipe for the week.
Okay.
It's a Chef John's lemon bars. Okay? I don't know if I need to take the call or not. I think we're into the recipe, so let's go ahead and do that. All right. It's a shortbread crust lemon bars, and they're one of Chef John's favorite cookies of all time. All right, so technically they're closer to a pie than a cookie. All right, here we go with the ingredients. And my mouth is already watering, folks. So anyway, here's the shortbread crust that you need to make. You need a cup of all-purpose flour, a half a cup of unsalted butter at room temperature, a half a cup of confectioner's sugar, a quarter of a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a quarter of a teaspoon of salt. For the custard, you'll need 2 large eggs, 1 large egg yolk, 1 cup of white sugar, 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 1/4 of a cup of freshly squeezed lemon juice, and a tablespoon of freshly grated lemon zest. And for the garnish, a teaspoon of confectioner's sugar or to taste. Here are your directions. Set an oven rack to the middle position and preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Lightly grease an 8 by 8 inch baking dish. For the pie crust, we're going to do that first, of course. Use the back of a spatula or wooden spoon to mash the flour and butter, which is already at room temperature, in a large bowl until thoroughly combined. Then you mix in the confectioner's sugar, vanilla, and salt until the mixture resembles slightly crumbly cookie dough. Moisten your fingers with a little water and press the dough into the bottom of the prepared baking dish. You can use a fork to prick holes all over the crust if you want. All right. You bake on the middle rack in the preheated oven until the edges are barely golden brown, about 22 minutes. And then you set that aside and let it cool. All right, to make the custard, you beat together the eggs and the egg yolk in a medium bowl until combined. Whisk in the white sugar and flour until smooth. Add the lemon juice and zest and whisk for another 2 minutes, and you pour over the warm crust. And you bake on the center rack until custard is set and the top has a thin white sugary crust, about 25 minutes. And then let it cool completely before cutting into bars. And you dip a knife into very hot water, then run the blade around the edges and cut into 16 squares. Then you dust the bars with confectioner's sugar. Now you can add a meringue topping. You can whisk an egg white in a bowl until it forms a ribbon. Whisk in a tablespoon of white sugar, until the mixture holds, soft peaks. Spoon meringue into a resealable plastic bag and cut a corner off the bag and squeeze the meringue on top of the cut bars. In a decorative pattern, if you feel artistic, you brown the meringue lightly with a kitchen torch. Do you have a kitchen torch?
I don't have a kitchen torch. I need to get one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like high class, Chris.
That's high class stuff
Yeah.
right there, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, this is one of the most popular lemon bar recipes of all time. This one serves 16, and out of that 8 by 8 inch pan. So there you go. And we're going to have that on the website so that you can
Make some lemon bars at home.
make lemon bars at home and relish them, savor them.
Yeah. I don't have a kitchen torch, but I have a little Bic candle lighter with
Oh,
the.
yeah.
I can-
I'm
maybe
thinking
I can
that
just slowly.
probably would. I think that
kitchen. Have
probably
you
would
seen those
work.
kitchen torches? They're just like whoosh. It's a wide spread of flame. And,
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a
Ooh.
nice, savory kind of burn. It's great for like burning the cheese, or not burning it, but melting the cheese of a burger. And
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway.
I know, right? It's pretty good.
This would be good for a picnic.
Yeah.
A
Oh,
group
for sure.
picnic or whatever.
Yeah. Or a picnic for one too. I mean,
Picnic
hey,
for one. Yeah, absolutely.
nobody's judging here. If you want to go out,
I know.
have a nice picnic by
Yep.
yourself, go for it.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll take this caller. Good morning, you're on the Call Flo Show.
Good morning, Chris.
Morning, Henry. How you doing?
Oh,
Yeah, good morning.
doing okay.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Which don't leave much left, does it? If you're all right.
You're all right. That's right.
Yeah. I heard about a guy was in court. He was up for stealing Downing. But
Okay.
anyway, he came clean.
Oh, I bet.
So, yeah. I don't know if you've heard about it or not, but there was an artist who stood near the well so he could draw water.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, it makes sense, doesn't it?
It does make sense.
Yeah. They say you should always ride your nightmare in the daylight.
I have my share of those. Yep.
The Billy Goat had long horns, which gave him a big butt.
Okay, there's several ways to interpret that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
well,
Yeah. And
All right.
in case you hadn't heard about it, the grocery store meat cutter backed into his machine and got behind in his work.
I bet he did.
Well, if you work for the post office, remember, the male must go through, but not the female.
Oh, that's discriminatory.
Now,
Okay.
well, to tell if it's poison oak or poison ivy, you have to start from scratch.
That's right. And scratching's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
The police had a stakeout, but had to settle for hamburger.
Oh, I just love these. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wish I could remember some of them. I'm going to have to
Yeah,
remember
after-
the one. I'm going to have to remember the one about the meat cutter. 'Cause-
About the what?
about the meat cutter, because Francis's brother is a meat cutter. He's a butcher.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
So I'll have to remember that.
Yeah, that's right. He is. He sure was.
Yep.
Yeah. After I fell into the copy machine, I was just beside myself.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if any of you watched the Andy Griffith TV show, but it's still showing.
Mm-hmm.
And the town, Mayberry is the town it takes place in,
Mm-hmm.
which actually is Mount Airy, North Carolina. But anyway, on the Andy Griffith TV show, the town was named after the town's lady undertaker.
Oh.
And her name was May Berry.
Is that true?
No.
No, it's not true. But I do have a true story. Yesterday, I shared a story about my friend Hunter Watson. And I had several, I thought, interesting stories about he and I through the years. One day back in 1990, I was sharing a story with Hunter, and it's about something that had happened to me back in 1950 while I was a patient at MCV Hospital in Richmond. Now, I'd gotten out of the iron lung, in which I had lived for several months, fighting the polio bit, because I couldn't breathe on my own. So when I first got out, they would push a group of us youngsters together in the corner, and we could be company for each other. And later they would come push each one back to his bed. Then they would start over and put us in our own beds. So I'm sitting in my wheelchair by my bed, and I decided I could get back into the bed on my own. So I leaned forward, put my hands on each arm of the wheelchair, then took a deep breath and tried to throw myself onto the bed. But instead, the wheelchair just shot backwards, and I hit the concrete floor on my knees. And they stayed bruised and black for several weeks. But anyway, I'm laying on the floor, and I couldn't get up, of course. And so suddenly a stranger walked over, picked me up, laid me on my bed, and then he left. I didn't know who he was. 40 years later, in 1990, I was talking to my friend Hunter Watson, and I told him that story. Now, Hunter was born and raised in Darlington Heights area, and he said to me, could that stranger have been Hall Driscoll of Darlington Heights, because his son Marvin was a patient there, a polio patient, and it could possibly have been him visiting his son Marvin. I said, well, Marvin's bed was about 15 feet from mine. So the next day, while I was broadcasting on Flo, I had the nude on, and I called Mr. Driscoll. And his wife answered, and I asked her if I could talk to Mr. Driscoll, and she said, yes, just a moment. She laid the phone down by the radio, and they were listening to Flo at that time. So in a moment, the old gentleman answered, and I said, are you the Mr. Driscoll who had a son named Marvin in MCV Hospital in 1950? Now, this is taking place in 1990. He said, yes, I am. I said, do you remember that back then you were visiting Marvin and you saw a youngster laying on the floor? Could it have been you who went over and picked him up because he couldn't get up? And I said, could it have been you that picked him up and put him back on his bed? And he said, yes, I do remember that. I said, well, I'm that youngster that you picked up and put back in bed, and I just wanted to thank you. And then the old gentleman asked, who are you? I told him who I was, and he began to weep. And he wept for several minutes. And he finally said, I wish I had known it was you that I picked up. Because he says, we have been listening to you since you first went on the air in 1956. And it just touched me more, I think, than anything has ever touched me.
Mm-hmm.
But it had not have been for my friend Hunter Watson. I'd never known
That's right.
who it was that had picked me up 40 years prior. And so I just wanted to share that.
Well, that's a wonderful story, Henry. I saw Hunter yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's doing quite well.
Yes.
A little
good.
slow, but he's
Yeah.
doing quite well. Yeah.
Well, anyway, I thank y'all for listening, putting up with me. And that was on the realm of supernatural at 40 years later.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it solved the mystery.
It did.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. What's your phone number?
414-0096.
All right.
And it's the area code, 434.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
Okay.
if you'd like to call me, please feel free to do so.
All right, Henry. Well, thank you very much. We look forward to hearing from you soon.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you. God
Take
bless.
care.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye. All right. A nice story about Hunter Watson.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's 8:54. It's plenty of time. There is plenty of time for you to give us a call if you want. It is Mr. Potato Day.
It is Mr. Potato Day. What are the chances? We should definitely.
I know.
I hope we can hear from
him.
Potato. Yeah.
Yes.
Also, International Jazz Day, Chris. I don't know. Do you like jazz?
I do.
John Coltrane.
I do.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you know how to play any brass instruments?
No, I don't know how to play any instrument. I did play piano
right?
when I was when I was younger, but no, I'm tried to play guitar, but I'm not that organized. I'm not that coordinated.
Oh yeah, their fingers like
Yeah,
of
and
guitar
the
players are
drums,
crazy.
just
Yeah,
forget it.
drums are kind of fun.
I'm sure they are, but they're loud.
They are. Yeah.
We've got another caller. Good morning. You're on the Call Flo Show.
Good morning. Today's my holiday.
Happy Mr.
know.
Potato Day.
I know. How do you
Hey.
feel about that?
Pretty excited.
No, I know. You're gonna have to go out and celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting, the thing you were reading earlier, that Barbra Streisand is making a new album
Yes.
in her 80s.
Yes. Yeah. She's still working, and she probably still has the pipes, and that it just sounds like she's collaborating with the big guns, and I just look so forward to it.
Oh, are you going to listen to this new album?
I'm going to buy that new album. Yes, absolutely.
Do you think that Flo is going to have any of the songs from it?
I would
play?
hope so.
I would hope so too, but I know John has a disdain for Barbra Streisand.
Well, John is John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you like it, John probably doesn't. That
Yeah.
seems to be how it goes.
I don't have any opinions on Barbra Streisand. I will admit that she's done amazing things with her career, and she is a very talented person. But I don't really seek her music out. It's just not my thing. But I don't hate, I don't disdain her music, or I don't have a disdain or a dislike for her music. I think it's just whatever,
No.
Well,
It
John
is.
probably loves it.
John hates it. I already talked to John about it. Yeah.
Well, I don't.
Not a big fan.
She's really talented.
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
She
absolutely.
Really
Plays-
is, and
But then he told me one time he plays music because other people like it, not just because he does or doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
of course. That's what we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
To do,
Yeah.
but what I think is about her is that she's teaming up with Bob Dylan and Paul McCartney, Mariah Carey, Sting, James Taylor. There's got to be some room for her in the adult contemporary charts
Yeah.
with some of that music. So we'll see.
And I know an extra bit of entertainment news.
What's that?
Pat Sajak is making a comeback on Wheel of Fortune.
Wow.
Wow. I'm glad. Nobody could do it like Pat Sajak could do it.
He's doing one more season of Celebrity Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, really? Good.
And it's going to be in prime time, starting tonight at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. On what channel?
ABC.
ABC. Okay, that's the one I can't get. But
You don't get Channel 8?
I have. I stream all of my channels, so what I'll have to do is see which one of my apps carries ABC, and I'll be able to catch it there. You know, Peacock carries Channel 12, and I do have Channel 6, but I'd have to download the Channel 8 app, which I probably should do anyway. So, anyway, I'll get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you said one time you used to watch that Wheel of Fortune.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yep, I was pretty good at it. Pretty good at it.
Now, how are you at Jeopardy?
Not so good. But I was able to beat Francis out with some answers. It kind of made me feel bad, but,
Was he good
get
at
up
Wheel
and
of
leave.
Fortune?
Do what?
Was he good at Wheel of Fortune?
It depended upon the category. Yeah, or depended upon what they were talking about, what they were trying to guess. But that was my forte. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, do you like to watch it?
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it always enlightens you. I get these. I'm into this connection thing now, to where you put all these different categories together, and it's really a lot of fun. But it can be absolutely frustrating as well. But anyway, we got to go. But we're going to
watch his comeback tonight.
Yeah, and guess what I'm going to have for supper? French fries, or mashed potatoes, or some kind of potato to honor
my day.
Yes, for your day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll do a twice baked potato.
Yeah,
that'll be my
Chris,
supper.
you should play the mashed potato later today.
I may do that. Yes, we'll do that for you. We'll dedicate that song to you, mashed potato.
Yeah, some Dee Dee Sharp. Yeah.
Yeah, some Dee Dee Sharp. Absolutely. Take care.
I hope your day is full of starch and potato skins, caller.
Wow. Thank you.
Talk to you soon. Have a good one.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right. As much fun as we have, time flies.
Yeah,
and
it does.
We're done for the day.
Yeah.
All right. You have a good one,
You
Noah.
as well, Chris. You
I
as
get
well.
to have fun playing some music
Yes, you do.
after the news and weather.
Absolutely.
Everybody have a fantastic Wednesday.